Hi, friend. Welcome to Invited Back with Sabbath Kapahu. I know you will find some sacred space of solidarity here, and I am so thankful that you've chosen to join me for a few minutes of encouragement this week. Today, I want to tell a story from the beach and a conversation around a campfire, and it's all centered around the following quote directly from my husband's mouth. He said, "I made it worse by trying to make it better." I mean, can I get an amen for every time that we have tried to make something better, but we only made it worse? This is such a reality of doing life with anybody else besides yourself. And this recent experience was pretty hilarious, so I wanted to share this story with you. We recently went to the beach as a family, which is actually probably rarer than you would expect it to be for us as we are living in Hawaii. We just don't make it there. And so recently we did, and it was an amazing day of just sun and salt water and sand everywhere therapy. And we were coming to an end of our time, and my husband was taking each kid individually for one more dive in the ocean and also rinse out whatever we could. And he had done one kid already, so I walked with that kid back to where our mat and all our stuff was up on the beach. And two kids were in between he and I, waiting at the shoreline for him to call them in, and one, our last and fourth kid, was with him in the ocean. And so I'm watching them. I'm holding kind of a handful of things that I didn't want to get sandy because we had just rinsed them all off. And I'm watching him, and he's pointing with his finger down, like he's pointing down. And so I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. And in my mind, I thought, oh, he wants me to fold the mat. So if you can imagine a finger up in the air pointing over and down, that's what I saw from far away, mind you. And in my head, I'm like, okay, yeah, he wants me to fold the mat so that when he's done with all of the kids, we can just go up to the showers. So here I am, with my hands totally full of life jackets and I think something else. I can't remember what it is. Oh, buckets, I think. And I picked up this bag and this inner tube, and I'm folding our beach mat up so that when he's done rinsing off all of the kids, we don't have to stand around. We can just continue the journey back to the showers. And so when he gets back to me finally, I mean, it was a little bit of work. It was, a handful, but moms, when we put our mind to something, even if our hands are full, we're kind of experts at getting it done. Am I right? So I'm just folding this mat. And he comes and he's like, "Oh my gosh, I was trying to tell you to put all the stuff in your hands down. Put it down on the mat, down." So he made it worse by trying to make it better. He was trying to help me and say, "Put your stuff down on the mat." And I took that hand motion as fold the mat up while I am carrying everything so that we can be quicker about the process. And it was so funny to reminisce about that. Later on in the day, after we got the kids down, it was a clear night and we got to light a fire in our fire pit, and we were cracking up at what that must have looked like. He is trying to tell me to do something that was helpful, and instead I took it as hold everything and do this, and all these people that probably were like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is making his wife carry all the things." And you know what? How many times does that happen to us? We have been married for almost 11 years, and time again, there is a miscommunication. And time again, we try to make something better, but actually we make it worse. And the reality is that unless we are face to face in clear communication with each other, we're probably going to get it wrong. And that is so normal. And this was a funny story, and we could both laugh about it, but sometimes it doesn't have a funny, laughable ending. Sometimes the miscommunication is really worse, and it requires hard conversations and sincere apologies and healing. And so if you're in that space today where someone tried to make it better, but actually they made it worse, or maybe you were trying to make it better, but you made it worse, my encouragement to us all is to remember that sometimes our words are interpreted not the way that we intended them to be, and that communication is a two-way relationship, and that you're normal if you get it wrong. But it's also okay to do the hard work to make it better. Friends, marriage is not easy. Even on the best days, it's challenging. So I really want to say I'm with you. And I'm thankful that there are times that we can laugh about situations. And I also know that there's times that if someone tried to make it better, but they made it worse, it's really hard. So wherever you are in your journey, I pray that you're reminded today that you are not alone. And if you need somebody to chat with, if you need some sacred space of solidarity, DM me. I will absolutely be in prayer with you and have an honest conversation about the time that you or someone tried to make it better, but they made it worse. I would love to hear your story. Until next time, aloha.